years ahead of me.
Yeah.
I think she was named a great volleyball player.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of legacy families.
Oh, I love
here.
the legacy part of Andrews County High School
So,
when kids
yeah.
come through and
Love seeing that.
Yeah.
But I know we're running out of time. But I wanted to bring family on, let
Yeah.
a lot of people meet them, a lot of people get to see them. But we put so much time into Andrews County football, all of us, all of our families.
Yeah.
It's impossible to do it right and them not be involved with our coaches, everything. And thankful to them. And Margarita, when we got married, she didn't quite understand what it meant to be a football wife. Football's a little different animal.
Yeah.
So it's.
I'm excited.
Coach,
we're thankful
homecoming
to the Lord for for our family and all He's given us.
Homecoming 7 o'clock. Kickoff 7:30.
Hello, welcome to another exciting episode of Graham's Gridiron Guidance. I'm your host, Coach DJ Pendergrass, here with the one, the only, the guru, Coach Kwayu Graham. How you doing, Coach?
Doing well, man. Tired. School's just started back, and it's been an adventure. We tested the first day, ACT testing.
Okay.
And it's been an adventure.
Absolutely.
Wore out.
Man, I thought I had more jobs than anybody. I think you work a little more than me, Coach.
I get around.
I see.
Get around.
I see. Guys, welcome back. We're excited to have it. A lot of great games happened last week. We're going to talk about what's coming up this week, and we're just so excited that you guys are tuned in. If you're already here, make sure you share this podcast so everybody can check us out. We always talk about the Roane County, Morgan County, and the Tri-County areas and beyond, and we want to make sure we want to show love. So you must share it and let everybody know. So, Coach.
Yes, sir.
I asked this to a lot of people. Let me see if you got an answer. Tell me something slick so I can slide.
Man, you keep moving and grooving, and you don't have to worry about it anymore.
There it is, Coach.
Keep moving and grooving.
Did you get a chance to watch any games last week?
Yes. Well, like I said, it's been unreal. I got to go to a college game. I got to watch my godson play at Kentucky State. They played his father's old school, Lane College, and that was an adventure, let me just say. So I got to see that. High school games, I watched Oak Ridge, a little bit of Oak Ridge game with Bearden. It was a great game, and both teams are fine teams. So I kind of watched some of that game on TV, off and on, flip stations, and watch a little bit, watch something else, watch a little bit, but that's about it.
So is Friday the 13th a day just to take a bye week, Coach?
Well, a lot of schools are on fall break, and so, I mean, it's the best to take that fall break. That if you can get a bye on fall break, that's great for the coaches and the families and the wives, and the parents. So I think it's a lot of coaches and a lot of programs try to schedule their bye week during the fall break.
Got you. Oak Ridge, they continued on as well as Bearden, but I've seen so many different athletes from different teams, Alva Springs, your Clintons, and many more, just to name a couple. But it was great to see. The environment was a great environment. I was able to go watch the game, that Bearden versus Oak Ridge game. It was, as I expected to be, an amazing game. And Jason Thompson, number 6, he is what I thought he was.
Yeah, they both teams have fine young players. You talk about Thompson, and I'm not going to get into that, but a kid that's a lot expected from. He was going to be what he was. Oak Ridge doesn't have a bad one in the backfield themselves.
Dozier's a bulldog.
Then Dozier, and they have a lot of good athletes all over the field. Like we said last week, games like that is dependent upon line play. Both teams are well coached. Defenses stood up at the right time. It was just a good high school football game against two fine teams.
Yeah, it was. And speaking of line play, my son plays for Oak Ridge High School. He wasn't able to play.
One of my favorite kids.
Yes, Tavoye. Shout out to T-Ray. Send the prayers out for him yesterday. T-Ray just had surgery. He had a torn meniscus and an ACL. It wasn't as bad as the MRI looked, but he is already on the road to recovery. So shout out to you, T-Ray, buddy. I love you.
I tell you what, I know that Josh Jones was concerned about him. He said, "Coach, is it true? Is it true? Is he the big guy? One of the big guys out?" And I said, "I don't know. I think so. I don't know. I see him in the school. He used to come and see me every day. And like I said, T-Ray is one of my favorite kids that we built a relationship when he first got to Oak Ridge High School, and we talked about playing football, and if you know your son, I don't know.
Yeah,
and we would always talk about it, and he would come back. I can remember when he said, you know what, Coach? I think I'm going to play, or at least try it. And you know the way he talks. And I remember that, proud of him. And it just shows you, with great coaching and an opportunity,
Yes.
a lot of things can happen.
Absolutely.
And that's a kid. You know the story with him as far as playing sports.
all
You
the
know,
way from the beginning.
you just have to give a kid an opportunity and let them know. You just put a carrot in front, and sometimes they'll run through. And that's, sometimes that around certain places they don't get those opportunities. I'm just glad that this staff seen something in him. The staff last year seen something in him, and it encouraged him to play. And he's one of the better players in this area now.
Yeah, I agree. I'm so proud of him. So shout out to the coaches. You guys giving them an opportunity, and so many more kids. Not just mine. We see what you're doing. The excitement is in the air when you talk about Oak Ridge football. The excitement is in the air when Oak Ridge football is talked about, even online these days, and that's good to see because I'm not going to say Oak Ridge was on a spiral that was going backwards, but there was a lot of negative energy throughout the community, and I think they're fixing that now.
Well, that's grown-ups, that's on grown-ups. At Oak Ridge football, in the last, I've been here since 2013, and each year that I was here, I know we competed. We
Absolutely.
competed and for a conference. We competed in the playoffs, and when you have great expectations, that's a good thing. That's
Absolutely.
a good thing to have great expectations. But sometimes you are what you are. My dad used to say this all the time. Tarzan thought he was an 8 because they called him a gorilla.
Right. That's right.
So he went swinging on trees.
Yeah.
So if you have people believe or start thinking that they're less or not as good, then they're gonna show you that you're right.
Absolutely.
So it's good to have positive breeds, positive results.
Absolutely.
And I say that to the adults at Oak Ridge: have high expectation, have high standards, but also understand that you can win a season or you can build a program. Sometimes the fans want to win a season, takes away from building a program. Going back to that positive breeds positive, and you build it from the ground up, and that takes time. And when you go through changes as Oak Ridge, if you look back the last 20-something years, a school that has a tradition like a Oak Ridge, let me see, you had at least 6 or 7 coaches in the last 20 since Joe Gaddis left.
Right.
Maybe it's 5 or 6, but still, with a program like Oak Ridge, you have to have some sustainability. We talked about this a couple weeks ago with programs that are great. You look at how they have something in common in leadership year after year. Fulton, Coach Black, Coach Courtney. Buck Courtney played for Coach Black.
Right.
Then he left. Coach Black's son. And you just look at Merville. You go to Coach George Quarles. Quarles came out. He's from Jefferson County, a winning program, and then a young man that played for him is Coach Hunt is currently the coach. And we can go on and on with a lot of these programs. Coach Nick's been at Alcoa forever,
Yes.
and now he's taking that program, continue to do the same things. And I'm just talking about regional around here. And when you go through a lot of changes, you got to have patience because as each coach comes, they have a different mindset. Things change when there's no commonality between them. The change. So, if fans, I would say this: be patient. Allow now. Oak Ridge still have to continue to play.
Oh yeah.
Win these next 2 games. You go in the playoffs. Everybody is 0-0. If they lose in the first round, what will we say? All right. So you still can't take away what they're doing and what they've done.
Absolutely.
But you as fans, we have those expectations of greatness, but understand, give Coach Rain an opportunity to build it.
Absolutely.
Build it. Support him when there's need to be support. Support him when they have things, functions and stuff. And I want to give this out to Coach Etheridge and Coach Mr. Mosley, the photographer teacher at Oak Ridge High School. What Coach Etheridge is doing on social media, and David, It's tremendous.
It is. I see it.
It's tremendous,
It
and
is.
it's big, and the
is.
kids are involved. There's
Yes.
culture there. Before Garfield Adams left, he started doing things to build culture in the school.
Right.
And Mr. Hawkins is continuing, and the administration, Joe Gaddis, and all those guys are really building a lot of pride back in the school, and the kids are buying into it.
Yes.
So in time, just keep moving.
Absolutely. So shout out to you guys. But Coach, let's talk about the rankings and standings where we are now.
Gotcha.
I know Cofield is on the road. Look like South Pittsburgh is on the road. This is Class 1A that we have on the screen here. South Pittsburgh is leading there.
Right, South Pittsburgh, and Alcoa. I would love for them, South Pittsburgh and Alcoa, to play every year regular season because they have a great program. But in our region, Cofield is staying there. And if you notice, Oliver Springs has received 7 votes. You know, they're right there. And you know, the funny thing is, I'm almost certain that Oliver Springs beat Whitwell a couple weeks ago.
They did.
Okay, so basically Oliver Springs should be a top 10 team.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
We should have the standings after that. Okay, let's look at the standings.
Yeah, because Oliver Springs, I think they do have 2 losses.
2 losses,
Yeah, they do.
but 5-0 in the region for
Yeah.
this big game we have coming up.
Yes.
But look at Rockwood. Rockwood 4-1. We talk about that youth, and Coach Webb has done a great job with Rockwood, and it just shows you for teams like Herman that was knocking at the door.
Yes.
You know, Midway, Oakdale. I mean, it's very competitive, this Region 2-1A.
Yeah.
And the next, what we have for Region for 2A rankings.
There we are.
All right. No one in our region is there. If I think Wartburg Central is a 2A school that's in our region. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Do you have those standings for regional? All right.
There we go.
Oneida is number 2, 3-1, and Wartburg is 0-3, 2-6, and 3A. 3A. Do we have 3A?
That's 2A, Coach.
That's 2A. We're moving up to 3A. 3A rankings.
There we are.
And of course, I would love to see Alcoa and Dyersburg play.
That would be nice.
That'd be nice. Meigs County got a fine ball club, and Gatlinburg Pittman.
Yes.
Coach Wagner's doing a great job there.
They make noise
Congrats to
every
him.
year. Yeah.
And let's look down in our region, Kingston. So almost every classification we have on our region schools in our area, that's a top 10 school. 4A. Oh, I'm sorry. And Alcoa and Kingston, they're playing next week. Kingston is off, I think, has a bye week, and they play in Alcoa.
Who do you have winning that game, Coach? That's the game.
I can't say common sense, but I would think Alcoa. I used to say this about Merville. So I've never bet against Merville.
Absolutely.
And someone said, Coach, you coach at Austin East. What if they play in Austin East? I just wouldn't bet that day. You know, so it's hard to bet against Alcoa, but if a team that can beat them, games like this, it's about the front.
Yeah.
And Alcoa always has a great front, but Kingston is as physical up front. So it just depends.
Yeah.
It depends.
Oh, yeah.
I think Kingston can beat Alcoa.
I am going to take the underdog, Coach. I'm rocking with Kingston.
All right.
I'm rocking with Kingston on that one. And I know what Alcoa has. Shout out to B, Brandon. He take care of business out there in Alcoa, and the rest of you guys. But I'm definitely going to take Kingston on this one just because I have so many guys there that I've seen play, and I know what they're capable of at their best moments.
And Panky does a great job, and Coach Nix does a great job. Shout out also to B. I consider him one of mine.
Yeah.
His dad played for me at Austin East. So I told him this recently. We're talking about the All-Star stuff. I said, "You're one of mine now."
Yeah.
So and I'm very proud of him. He knows this from the time he was a kid. His dad would always, we would consult and talk about different things in the recruiting process. And very proud of the young man and what he's going to do in the future.
Absolutely. All right, Coach.
4A Pearlcon. Greenville's still in Anderson County. Remember early in the season I told you, don't worry about Anderson County, they'll find their way?
Oh, yeah.
I told you. I mean,
Yeah.
they're
They
well
started out
coached.
to 0-2. Yeah.
They're well coached,
Yes.
and they now have championship pedigree.
Yeah.
So all those things, it goes back to what I was saying earlier about building a program.
Mm-hmm.
They have built it.
Yes.
And they're going to continue to see the benefits from what they've done.
Absolutely. And we love those fireworks in Anderson County. Keep firing them off. We
my
love it.
classmate, Elrod.
Yeah.
Elrod, that's my classmate.
We love it. We love it.
And right, once again, they up front. I think they play Gibbs this week. That ought to be a good game. That's going to be a good game.
Yes. Gibbs has that running back, man.
Yeah, that kid's special. He's kind of like my son. He's been there for years.
Ooh, he's nice,
Now
man.
you say that with my
He's
youngest
nice.
boy. They say, how long has he been at Oak Ridge? He's been there for years.
I'm
But
happy to see Fulton won enough region games
Yeah.
because it looks like their season has been pretty rocky.
Well,
but they have
early.
enough region games won to make it 0-0 in the playoffs.
Right. The thing is, for them, they want to get they'll have a away seeds. But like I used to tell my players this: we would either win the regional, or come runner up every year.
Mm-hmm.
And I would tell my players honestly, when you start the playoff, it doesn't matter. Because you're gonna have to win eventually an away game. You're gonna have to win. It doesn't
That's right.
matter, you
That's
know. And
right.
sometimes going away, there's a little more focus on that game.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
5A, all right. You got Knox West doing what? Champions. They're champions,
They're
and coach has
champions.
done a great job of rebuilding.
They're champions.
You look at Oak Ridge at number 8. And that's Oak Ridge has done Coach Ring has done a great job. Their coaches have done a great job of building. People forget that this is a first-year staff.
It is.
You know,
Yeah.
this is a first-year staff. This is
Yeah.
the first time under new leadership, and that's hard to come back and to be a contender.
Yes.
With a first year. So
Yes.
to Coach Rang, great job. Oak Ridge, look at that. Lenore City is the number 2 seed in Region 3 5A.
Congratulations.
They upset Clinton. I guess you would say it's an upset.
It's an upset.
Because Clinton's a very talented team. It's a
an
scary
upset.
team to be in the playoffs, but they're a very talented team.
Now, they're on their way to the playoffs as long as they win out, Coach.
No, they just have to beat Corns and then hope that for them, if I'm them, it's funny in this situation. They're in. They have to beat Corns and win another game. If they lose the Corns, they'll have to win another game. If they beat Corns, it doesn't matter. But if they win, that gives them a 3-7 record, along with, unless Campbell County wins too,
Right,
which
right.
Oak Ridge is one of those, and Oak Ridge is pretty good.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. No doubt. That is nice. Well, Coach, you are the man. You keep up with the standings, but at this moment, right now, I'm going to pay some bills, and I'll be right back.
Commercial Metals Company is still a locally operated company that's serving the people of East Tennessee with convenient hours of operation. Commercial Metals buys all types of scrap metal. Nothing is too big or too small. Still have that old clunker sitting around? We've been buying them for years. Commercial Metals are specialists in commercial scrap. We have what it takes to get any size job done. Commercial Metals encourages you to recycle responsibly. Scrap with only licensed dealers. Member of the TSRA and the ISRI. Commercial Metals Company. Turn that scrap into cash.
Daniel Forrester has been trusted by Anderson County families for nearly 2 decades. Daniel has appeared in Anderson County Chancery, Circuit, Sessions, and Juvenile Court thousands of times over the past decade. A Rule 31 mediator, Daniel has been trusted to mediate hundreds of cases across Anderson County. A community leader, Daniel has worked closely with local officials to make Anderson County a better place. A conservative and dedicated husband and father, Daniel's faith has shaped his character and integrity. On March 5th, vote Daniel Forrester for Anderson County Chancellor.
Medicare has helped millions of seniors, but it's changed a lot since it started in the 60s. It can be confusing. If Medicare is right around the corner for you, talk to a licensed agent on the Madison Insurance Group Senior Benefits Team. They offer straight talk about Medicare, can make the transition seamless. If you already have a plan, let them take a look at it to make sure you're on the best path forward. Your future is the focus of Madison Insurance Group. Call today.
At Ferris, we want you to get the most out of your time and end each day feeling good. That's why we pioneered exclusive lawnmower suspension technology, allowing for full-speed mowing, even over the roughest terrain. Grow your business by getting more done in less time with Ferris. Ferris. Work hard, feel good. Found exclusively at independent Ferris dealers.
Our story starts with a promise made to the communities of East Tennessee. A promise to always look forward, to the horizon, and past it. A promise to help you live well. At Covenant Health, whenever you enter one of our hospitals, visit any of our physicians, or talk to us on the phone, we will welcome you and your family as one of our own. Because it's about you, and it's about time. Covenant Health. For every moment.
Dad always worked hard, and even though he could never tell me exactly what he did at the lab, I knew he was doing it for us. He was always there for me. For all of us. But now it's my turn to keep him safe. It's good to know there's help.
To find out how to get all the benefits you or your loved one has earned with their medical benefits card, call the home option and see how we can help.
Welcome back to another great episode of Graham's Gridiron Guidance. I'm your host, Coach DJ Pendergrass. Today, folks, we got the cow on the way, Coach.
Yeah, it's time.
It's time?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Moo.
The competition of the week will be displayed here on BBB 12. We have Cofield versus Oliver Springs, and it is going to be a good one. And right now, as we speak, I think we have Coach Harper. I know him as Coach Biggs. We got Coach Harper on the line. Coach Harper, you there? What's up, Coach? How you doing?
Doing well. How are y'all?
Blessed.
Doing very well. Don't have to get ready for this game Friday night.
I understand.
Hey, that 4 miles, ride that 4 miles down Chris Highway.
Yeah, Gary Chris Memorial Highway.
Yes, it's Highway 62, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Who's ready to get it on?
Yeah.
It's going to be, hopefully it's a little chilly and the pads are popping. It says calling for rain a little bit. So it's going to be a good old-fashioned, those old turkey bowls back in the days, like one of those. It's going to be some good old hitting going on. How you feel about coming into this game, Coach?
Well, I feel like, I feel pretty good. We've been playing some good football, even coming off a bye week, and able to get a little bit of rest and, get ready to play a big game, whether it's for a region championship like it is this year or anytime you play this game, it's a big game. It don't matter what's on the line.
That's right.
Right. It's no. You're right. There's no title with it. It's just we going down the street like the old throw-up tackle. It's going to be just a good old-fashioned game. You talked about coming off of open week after beating, at the time, the 7th-ranked Whitwell. And that can be a good thing. You just had a big win. You're getting a chance to rest I know as a coach, it was kind of a good and bad to it, having that bye week toward the middle to late part of the season. And I consider this toward the late part of the season. You get a chance to heal up. Sometimes you get a chance to reset, go back to fundamentals. Those are the good things. The bad things is you had a big game, you got a rhythm, and trying not to lose that. How do you feel about coming off of a bye week?
I feel like we had a good approach to it. We had a plan put out way ahead of time whenever I planned for it. We knew the bye week going in, so our kids, our parents knew everything, how we was going to practice on the bye week and all that stuff. So mentally, I think our mental makeup is really well. Come back in, have a normal week. We're back in school this week, so you have a normal practice week. And we was able to have this fortunate situation where we had this last year as well. It is our first time going through this. Cofield's been on a bye week for a few years during that week, and so it was our first time dealing with that. And I didn't like the way we handled it last year, but I feel like our team's matured quite a bit. We've got a few more kids that's actually able to drive now, and that's I think maturity is going to play a big role in hopefully how we handled the bye week.
Right. I mentioned a little bit about the weather. It's East Tennessee, so call for rain could be 85 degrees in East Tennessee.
Exactly right.
But and your team is still kind of young, very talented, but kind of young. You talked about their maturity, and you're playing a team in Cofield that are opportunists, that are turnover magnets. What have you done to kind of bring that into the in the minds of your kids? And sometimes you don't want to even talk about it. I've heard that before too. But have you taken I know you did it throughout the year. Have you discussed those things in a big game? Because this is a big game, and I don't know if you all have been in this type of the Oliver Springs Cofield game is a big game anyway, but where it means this much recently.
Honestly, I think it comes down to we discuss you have to play, execute every week to win any football game these days. You can't just go out there and turn over the ball and have penalties. So we talk about taking care of the football, and Cofield's very tough defensively, and what they do is they make you drive the field on them, and they give themselves plenty of chances they don't give up a big play.
Right.
And so, good defenses do that, and then, play that kind of that, where you have to score on 10, 12, 14 play drives if you score. And they've just not given up many points this year in total. But
right.
I think the good thing I feel really good about is I had a lot of my kids playing. They got to play this game twice last year, and we're going back to Cofield. We played out there twice last year, and we're going back to Cofield again this year. So they know what kind of environment to expect, and I'm hoping that is a big step for us and approaching it the right way this year.
We're great, Coach. And once again, I thank you for being a part of our show. And I'm going to ask you this last question. What will a win mean? And I know what it means for you. I've been a coach. I understand that. It helps align as far as playoff seeding, home field advantages, and things like that. But for your community, what will a win against Cofield mean?
I knew whenever I took this job that one of the keys to this job is to win this football game.
Right.
And I wore it on my sleeve, on my all season, and I would be lying if I didn't know that the date of October 20th for about 10 months now since I set the schedule, and I've been mentally ready for this, and we've been preparing our kids for this game and this situation. But more than anything, I think it's an opportunity, playing another top 10 team in the state, and an opportunity to earn some respect for our program. We got a win against Whitwell, and they were ranked in the top 10, and we had been receiving votes, and we didn't get into the top 10. They kept them in the top 10. So just like I've been telling my kids, in order for us to earn some respect, we're going to have to beat these programs and, do it consistently. And this is an opportunity in front of us.
That's right. And it's a playoff atmosphere and getting your young men used to that atmosphere. And that's big, too, Coach. Once again, thank you for being a part of the show, and good luck to you on Friday.
Hey, Coach, one thing before we get off here.
What you got?
Who's dirt?
What was this?
Who's dirt?
Who's dirt?
Who's dirt? If you don't know the answer, you got to ask your players. And one more thing, I'm praying for my favorite player that I've ever coached, in Jonah Robbins and the family. So give them my love, Coach. We appreciate you.
Yes, absolutely.
Make sure you ask your boys who's dirt. They will answer.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Who's dirt, Coach?
Our dirt.
Have a blessed one, Coach. Good luck Friday.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Mr. Biggs, Mr. Biggs.
They call him Mr. Biggs.
And we're going to take a commercial break. We'll be right back.
Commercial Metals Company is still a locally operated company that's serving the people of East Tennessee with convenient hours of operation. Commercial Metals buys all types of scrap metal. Nothing is too big or too small. Still have that old clunker sitting around? We've been buying them for years. Commercial Metals are specialists in commercial scrap. We have what it takes to get any size job done. Commercial Metals encourages you to recycle responsibly. Scrap with only licensed dealers. Member of the TSRA and the ISRI. Commercial Metals Company. Turn that scrap into cash.
Our story starts with a promise made to the communities of East Tennessee. A promise to always look forward, to the horizon, and past it. A promise to help you live well. At Covenant Health, whenever you enter one of our hospitals, visit any of our physicians, or talk to us on the phone, we will welcome you and your family as one of our own. Because it's about you, and it's about time. Covenant Health. For every moment.
Daniel Forrester has been trusted by Anderson County families for nearly 2 decades. Daniel has appeared in Anderson County Chancery, Circuit, Sessions, and Juvenile Court thousands of times over the past decade. A Rule 31 mediator, Daniel has been trusted to mediate hundreds of cases across Anderson County. A community leader, Daniel has worked closely with local officials to make Anderson County a better place. A conservative and dedicated husband and father, Daniel's faith has shaped his character and integrity. On March 5th, vote Daniel Forrester for Anderson County Chancellor.
Earl Duff Pre-Owned Center in Harriman is your one-stop shop for vehicle sales and service. The Duff family is open for business for everything automotive. We offer fully inspected, dependable pre-owned vehicles, and most come with a powertrain warranty at no extra cost. We also have a complete service department equipped for maintenance and repairs on all makes and models.
Don't settle for less with your next pre-owned vehicle purchase. Come to Earl Duff Pre-Owned Center in Harriman or online at duffpreowned.com.
Dad always worked hard, and even though he could never tell me exactly what he did at the lab, I knew he was doing it for us. He was always there for me, for all of us. But now it's my turn to keep him safe. It's good to know there's help.
To find out how to get all the benefits you or your loved one has earned with their medical benefits card, call the home option and see how we can help.
Medicare has changed a lot since it started in the 60s, and all those changes can make it really confusing. If Medicare is right around the corner for you, talk to a licensed agent on the Madison Insurance Group Senior Benefits team. They'll give you straight talk about Medicare. They can make the transition seamless. If you already have a plan, they can take a look to make sure you're on the best path forward. Your future is the focus at Madison Insurance Group. Call today.
Welcome back to Graham's Gridiron Guidance. I'm your host, Coach DJ Pendergrass. We're currently in the Cal, and we have Coach Napier from Cofield on the line. Coach, are you on the line with us?
Yes, sir. How y'all doing?
Blessed,
Well,
Coach. How you doing?
Doing pretty good. Just be doing a lot better when we get to Friday.
I know that's right. Have to wait for that each one of those days. But the good thing is, Coach, us old coaches say the hay's in the barn now.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those we put in, had a good week so far. Need to finish it up, be locked in, focused tomorrow at practice, going through your walkthroughs and stuff. So it's one of those, it's counting down till Friday now, trying to get ready for it.
Coach, you already sound like you're ready, man.
Yeah, he does.
I stay ready for this one. Anytime we're locking it up with the team down the road from us, we're going to be ready to go. So it's one we've been excited for.
Hey, 4 miles, Gary Chris Highway. Let's get it on.
Yeah, I mean, it's one I wish we could have played them twice in the year, play them a little earlier too. When the waiting game ain't fun for this one.
Oh man, I like this. I like where we're going with this, Coach. Just talking about once again, I've talked to Coach Harper and just said it's been a while since this game, which it didn't matter if either team was 0-9. It's going to mean something to both communities. It's a love-hate relationship, and understood, but it actually really means something this year.
Yeah, it's one of those, you throw the records out when we get together. It's the one both teams have circled. They need to get this one in as a win, or you're going to be disappointed in how the year went. You add in they can clinch a region title Friday night with a win. We set ourselves in very good shape. Now we got Rockwood next week, so they're setting 4-1 in the region with something to say about it. So our job's not finished if we get the win Friday, but either team's really going to put themselves in that driver's seat position going into the last week, depending on how results go Friday night. So it means a whole lot.
Right. Last week you had a bye, and I talked to coaches about this. I know as a coach, a bye could be a good or bad thing, because the good is you get a chance to rest, you get a chance to reset, you get a chance to fix some things, and most importantly, the rest part of it, and to come back in with a fresh mindset. But also rhythm. There's a chance some teams, I know years before, I felt like we lost rhythm that off week. The focus wasn't the same, so we would have to regather their focus coming back off of a bye week. But it's very important as coaches that you have a plan for the bye week. I know you're an experienced coach. Did you change your plan any, or did you make a plan for bye week?
So it's worked out. We've been very fortunate having our bye week fall on fall break the past few years. We go 2 days. I mean, we go Monday, Tuesday in the week. Same thing we did last year. Get them in the mornings, let kids have a few days off there, let you mentally reset and get ready for this grind, because we're looking at, 6-7 more weeks of where every one of them matter. And so you get that chance to mentally and physically reset and get ready for the grind that's coming. And I think it was good for kids. It's good for us as coaches to really get locked in and ready to go. Because, when we came back Monday, it's go time. There is no holding back now. Everything means something, and you got to be ready to play and be on your A game, or you're going to end up sitting at the house pretty soon. So we kept things the same as we did last year, the year before, and it's worked out pretty good for us. So we wanted to keep things the same, and I think it's worked out pretty good for us.
Right. Both of you teams have played a real competitive schedule, especially with your non-conference games, and marks of good programs, and both of you have. And last week, not this past, is bye week, but the week before, they beat, at the time, number 7 Whitwell. Now, last year, I think you beat them by 51 points, I think. I know it's a big game, but we are dealing with 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old young men. Is there a chance of letdown after knowing that you have kind of, and I hate when people say that, owned a team, but you have obviously won the game the last couple of years? And is there a letdown, a mental letdown, or what are you doing to prevent that?
A lot of times I would say yes, but with it being so close with each other, they're right down the road from us. Typically this one, kids are locked in, ready to go. But like you say, you're dealing with 15, 16, 17-year-old kids that we get to Friday, their girlfriend might have broke up with them. Their mind ain't anything on football just because a girl broke up with them or didn't talk to them that day or something.
That's right.
You always have the chance of that dealing with kids, but typically when we're getting together with the team down the road, our kids are going to be ready to go.
That's right. Well, Coach, good luck to you. I always tell you, you know how I am with the Henrys, how close I am with that family, and you have done a great job. And I'll see. We'll be able to tell how the game went. I'm going to watch it anyway, but we'll see. There. We'll see what happens. How many? If I can get my, I'll decide whether I'm going to get my country ham breakfast at Waffle House or get my wings at Applebee's, because this will be packed after that game Friday night. Good luck to you, Coach, and thank you once again.
I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
All right.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank y'all.
Hey, I tell you what, man. Last year, I say this a lot. I've been to Rocky Top a lot of times, and I've never won. We won our first championship last year, and that was thanks to Cofield for beating Oliver Springs. I got my guys for Rocky Top. Because
Wow.
if that was the case, that wouldn't have happened. But, Coach, last week we brought a surprise on for you, Mr. T. Higgins.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for that.
Well, this one is not a surprise. I'm rocking my Colonel's jersey, McKinney, right? For a reason. We got Mr. McKinney on the line. Would you like to take that, Coach?
Yes, sir.
Parker McKinney, are you on the line with us?
Yep.
How you doing? This is Coach DJ and Coach Graham, buddy. Thanks for calling in.
Awesome. Appreciate you guys having me.
Absolutely. Hey, Parker, I just want to let you know that I'm rocking your jersey right now, and I've been a huge fan of yours for a while. I share almost everything your dad shares, or I talk about you in some type of way. And for you to call in right now, you've made my day. I appreciate it. And go Colonels.
All right. Yeah.
That's awesome. I appreciate that.
Parker, you're having a fantastic career. You were one of those kids as I guess you could say junior high/high school, because I think he played in the 8th grade varsity ball. I know basketball, football, and I was truly blessed to meet you and get to see you. You had my son, your dad had my son itching to go play at Coalfield out of the 8th grade, Jordan Graham. And he would say, hey, Dad, can I go to Coalfield? Can I go to Coalfield? He would say that. I said, I coach at Oak Ridge. He said, yeah, but my friends. And I truly thank you all for that experience, because he'll always remember that. And you talk about the Rocky Top, that was our first time participating. Yeah. And they won the championship.
They won. Yeah, they won.
Orange Crush, I think, was the name of the team.
Yep. I remember that.
Yeah, we were. I remember I was obviously wanting Jordan to come to Coalfield really bad as well.
Oh, yeah, he talks about you guys. And then your dad was big. He would take him off when y'all would go to recruiting trips and the camps and stuff. Yeah. He would always, one day I came home and asked my wife, I said, where the boys at? She said, well, one's downstairs, the other one's outside. And I said, where's that little one? So I don't know. She said, I don't know. And another parent who kids played with him at Robertsville, they sent me a text message, and I'm not good with phones, so I didn't see it till later on. But he was with the McKinneys.
That's
he was
what's
with
up.
Ted. Coach Ted.
Wait, Parker, I got a question for you. It's Coach DJ, man. I got a question for you. I want you to clear this rumor to see if it's true or not. And if it is true, I have something to back up with that. Going to camps for you, getting ready, prepping for college, it was told to me that you were at the top of South Carolina's list of quarterbacks, but they were afraid to take you and give you a scholarship because you came from such a small school in a small town. Any truth to that?
So I went on a visit there. Caleb Martin, actually, he's from Oak Ridge as well. He actually was one of the people with me on the visit.
Right.
And, I met with the quarterback coach and, the recruiting guy for the area, and that was basically what they told me as a situation, which is obviously hard to hear because, the circumstances, I can't help what classification the school is I play for. But, yeah, there definitely is some truth to that.
Right. Parker doesn't know this, but I know exactly what that conversation was about.
Yeah.
I was in that conversation about that later on with the coach. And it had to do with not Parker's ability, but being able to convince other coaches.
To a big city.
No. It wasn't that.
Okay.
It wasn't being able to convince. When you're at that level, you answer to it. We talked about this the other day. There's a lot of other people that has to hear that answers. You know, that some of them don't have nothing to do with the actual football or the game planning and things like that. But during that time, I can remember that. It was that. It wasn't about the small town. It's more about who he played against. Even though his camp,
top tier.
Yeah, he had great camps.
Yeah.
That was, I don't know if Parker knew that, but I was kind of in that conversation. I've heard that. I heard about.
Well, with that being said, Parker, congratulations for you moving on in your career. But what would you say to the young men that are playing football in small communities, smaller competition, so they say, small market? What would you say to those guys that may get the same information or input that they gave you at South Carolina?
Yeah, obviously, I mean, that's always tough to hear. I mean, I think the biggest thing is you can't really control, the circumstances you're given. Obviously me playing at a small school, I think for them, it's really just about, finding the people who do believe in their talent and doesn't, necessarily look at just the competition that they're going up against. And then, obviously, going to camps and stuff was a big thing for me, especially playing quarterback. I couldn't go run a 4.3 40. I wasn't necessarily gifted with that ability. So I had to go and, prove my talents there, where there are some kids. There was a kid that I played. I remember Kane Roberts.
I was going to mention that. Right.
Yeah, he was a small school, and, he ended up going to North Carolina, ACC school. So, I think it is really just being in front of the right people and showing them your talent.
I can remember the Kane Roberts, too. I remember Kane and at Greenback, and Kane really liked Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
And I told Kane, I said, Kane, you are a cornerback. Did well, because I don't know if you remember, Parker, he went down to Atlanta. And Nico was there, the receiver that ended from Alabama.
Yeah.
I think he went to Michigan, and Kane shut him down. And I told Kane, I said, Kane, think about playing safety. I said, go as an outside backer or safety. I said, because you're going to run 4.5, 4.4. You're going to run that. Go there. And as Parker was saying, at his position, you can't because at the end of the day, Parker, you can attest to this. It's a numbers game.
Yes.
And I'll say this for Parker, and he's had it didn't matter.
That's right.
It didn't matter. He's going to have a chance to play after college.
Absolutely.
He's going to get his college degree if he hasn't already gotten it. And it didn't matter.
Absolutely.
So what I would tell people is it doesn't matter.
Absolutely.
You'll find the right spot for you, and Parker McKinney is that example.
He is a prime example.
Yes.
Parker, what would you tell the kids about your grind during the college hours? Years. During your college years. I know nothing was given to you. I know you had to work hard for it. What would you encourage the kids that are on their way?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I had to work, super hard, especially like that freshman year. So kind of how my freshman year was set up is this was under a different coaching staff here at Eastern Kentucky, but they also brought in another quarterback with me. And the quarterback they brought in with me had somewhere around 30 offers, a bunch of Power 5, ended up choosing Eastern Kentucky, and where EKU was my only offer. So I was already kind of fighting an uphill battle there.
Right.
And, I went from fourth or sometimes, I guess, fifth string quarterback to next thing you know, 3 guys getting hurt in front of me and them throwing me in the game. So I think the biggest thing was just me, preparing and understanding the plays, because as a freshman, you don't get to sit in too many meetings. A lot of times, you're in scout team meetings and that kind of stuff. So you don't really get to learn too much about the game plans and all that stuff. So I was just trying to, keep myself mentally prepared as I could in case, that time ever came for me.
I'll tell you what, Parker. Now, Coach Graham has talked about a lot of, dads coaching their sons. Ted coached you. How was that for you?
Yeah, I mean, he obviously coached me all the way growing up, and he still, tries to coach me to this day. So that's obviously been a huge part, of my career so far, is, having a coach, like that on and off the field both, that kind of sees the game from a football perspective and is able to help me with different things.
That's great. That's great. And he is. That was one of the Orange Crush team, and I told a lot of people this. I actually spoke several years ago, and I talked about youth sports. And not because Parker's on here in relationship with Ted and what he did with my son, that's for me, that's personally.
Right.
But that Orange Crush team was the best coached youth team that I got a chance to sit down and watch.
And be dad.
I watched, yeah. It's some high schools around here that staff could go and contend. I was so impressed with them. And, Parker, I don't know if you remember Jordan broke his ankle in the championship game. And,
yep, I remember.
And I can remember riding home, and we were talking, and I said, I hope he gets a chance to play with them next year. Right. But all those guys were actually a year older than him.
Right.
So I just, that was one of the best coached, just the concepts, the understanding of defenses, being able to change out. Now, you had Parker McKinney, and they had some receivers, but they had some guys, they had some kids that were well coached, disciplined, they skill sets, and I'm not going to go on and on about it, but that was one of the best coached youth teams that I've been around. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, to everybody, I'm being honest with you. I'm thinking they're from Cofield.
Yeah.
I've been gone,
Right.
I've been gone,
Right.
and so I didn't know. But that was I was really impressed with the whole coaching staff.
Yeah.
And I had to get that out.
They call him Ted McKinney, but his new name is Pressure McKinney because he puts the pressure on. Parker, we appreciate you calling in, buddy. Good luck on the rest of your career. I do plan to see you at the NFL Combines. I do expect to see you being drafted. I'm your biggest fan, buddy, outside of Cofield, so I'll be tuned in. That's for sure, man. Good luck.
And we're sure hoping, Parker, that you're throwing to T. Higgins in the next year or two.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Appreciate you guys having me.
Hey, thanks for coming.
Stay blessed, buddy. It's a good dude. No family. Coach, I got to ask you a question. The phone lines are open, guys. 865-483-8112. If you want to give us a call in, we have about 6 minutes to take some phone calls. But I have a serious question I need to ask Coach Graham.
I didn't do it.
One thing I've never believed in is giving referees a hard time. I have given a couple of referees a hard time in my feelings at the times, and maybe one or two I don't take back.
Right.
I knew I was right. Do you feel that a referee can cause a game, win or lose?
Of course. And this is the thing about referees. they're not robots, they're humans.
They are humans.
You know, you go through the day, you didn't have anything to eat, you come, you're grumpy, you know, so or
mad at you.
You just make a decision, and then in some cases, and this is the truth, I played against that team when I was 16, and they beat us and they embarrassed us. My girlfriend broke up with me that day. I hate that team, I hate that school, I hate that city. Believe it or not, that's happened.
Yeah.
You know, but at the end of the day, they're doing something. They don't get paid a lot of money.
Yeah, I agree.
As a coach and as a former head coach, you try to politic with them and talk to them and let them hear you and talk to them, and it's kind of a game. But yes, do I think referees sometimes can affect a game? Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, and it happens, like you said, it's human. But my thing is, Coach, I've seen referees blatantly do it because they're mad at a fan or one of the crazy coaches or even a kid.
Yeah.
Referees, keep your professionalism even when somebody makes you mad. That's all I can
And
add.
I'm gonna say this. And once again, they are human, and they're doing something. It's a service. They are giving a service. But I'm gonna say this: as coaches, and when you're a coach or a head coach, you have to be in charge of your domain.
Yes.
You can help or hurt. You know, I would say this. Sometimes people get in their feelings. Sometimes we're human, but I doubt very few referees have a personal with the children, with the kids.
Gotcha.
And sometimes we can either influence that or fan the flames or try to relinquish.
Gotcha.
And I think I've done both. But I do, at the end of the game, they got to go home to their family.
Absolutely.
And in today's climate, sometimes we have taken, you know, I can say this now because he called on the phone. Every week I text T and I end it with, it's a game, so have fun. Be a good teammate and just be T.
Right.
Every text I end it with that with T. But it's the same thing. It's a game. It should be fun. At the end of it, let the game lay.
Absolutely.
You know, and move past it and understand that those men and women who are referees have to go home. As the coach, only thing I can do is control my domain. And that would be myself, my staff, and my team.
Right.
And beyond that, it's beyond my control.
Absolutely.
So I think if I can react as the head coach or a coach in a way to relinquish it, then it helps with that. And what happens is human nature. We're human.
Yeah.
So if a referee may have had that feeling as he leaves, normally he says, hey, I got to give it to coach. And I think that's what's happened to me, because I used to hear the things about being at Austin East, and let's be real with it. I used to hear what people would say and why things why teams would do what they do.
Right.
One of my buddies would say that they're doing that. I said, no, your team undisciplined.
Right.
You know, sometimes it's you.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
sometimes my team was undisciplined. Sometimes they were, and it's all about optics. You know, if you got guys that you tell them as a coach to come here and they're walking away from you, then that referee is going to have the optics show that they're undisciplined.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
if there's a question, because most things happen in a split time, he's going to go with what he thought from what
Absolutely.
he's seen before.
Absolutely.
So it's things that you as a coach can try to fix for your team. You come in, teams that are good and that are disciplined, I hear the word discipline, but are consistent in making the right choices.
Yes.
You know, everybody, discipline is a bad thing. He's a bad. No, they're consistent. Discipline means consistent. You can be disciplined bad.
That's right.
You can do some things over and over again, and you're very disciplined at disrupting.
Right.
You know, you keep doing it. So if that's the case, then if your team can do things consistently,
Right.
and referees see it, I'm pretty sure that and we always talk about this team, and I'm pretty sure that Merrill holds. But because of their consistency through time,
yes,
when that split second come, oh, he didn't do it.
Right.
Not because we're favoring them,
Right.
but because their consistency of doing the right thing over and over.
Yeah.
It's teams that probably didn't hold, but they've done a lot in the past. So in that split second,
Right.
so if you want to try to gain favor, and not favor, but understand that referees are human.
Right.
You know, and You just like Lil Johnny. Lil Johnny always the one that's disrupting stuff and tearing up messing up the house.
Yeah.
He might didn't have anything to do with it.
Right.
But when you see Lil Johnny and you see the house messed up, then guess what you're going to do?
You're going to blame Lil Johnny. That's
exactly.
right.
And that's what kind of happens with referees.
Well, I asked that because Parker McKinney has a uncle, Chris McKinney, that's a referee, and he's always been solid with me, and I think he's one of the most fair referees that I've seen. But, Coach, we don't have that much time. Guys, the phone line's still open, 865-483-8112, or you can call toll-free at 866-412-8112. Coach, let's talk about last week. We got McMinn Central versus Kingston. That game, 31-28, McMinn pulled it out.
That's right. And then we go to Oak Ridge and Bearden. Great game. We talked about that earlier. And Wartburg found a way to score.
Yes, they did. They put up enough points to win. So congratulations to the winners of that, and everybody else continue to grind. Make sure you continue to grind. Listen to your coaches. As Coach Graham always says, be a great teammate. Right. All right, and be coachable. That's a big difference.
That's right. And I'll say this, looking at the games to play, Anderson County and Gibbs is going to be a good game.
Yes. Clinton Corns.
Clinton Corns could be. If Clinton may figure it out.
Hope so.
They may figure it out.
Hope
and
so.
If they do, watch out.
Absolutely.
But overall, just going to be a great week. I'm excited for this game, Coalfield and Oliver Springs.
Yeah, and I will be there. I don't care if it's raining. It doesn't matter. I'm coming, and I'm going to support both communities. I have a lot of guys on Oliver Springs. Guys, thank you for tuning in. We'll be back next week at 8 o'clock.